Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kenna and I'm a Cameroonian YouTuber based in Douala, Cameroon. If this is your first time here, you're welcome, and to all my oldies, welcome back. Thank you for always coming back. I love you guys so much, you know that, right? Okay guys, so today I'm talking about relationships. I'm going to be talking about things you should discuss with your partner before you get married. And these things I'll be talking about, you discover that when you talk to somebody who is getting divorced, some of these things always come up, like particular points from here will always come up when you're talking to somebody, like why did you divorce, what happened, how was it, and all that. So I just thought, let me talk about this because a lot of people are getting married, and sometimes I don't know whether it's just the idea of getting married that overwhelms them, and they forget to ask certain important questions. They forget to talk about certain important things with their partners, and then when they get now into the marriage, it starts causing problems because they did not talk about it before time. And also there are cases where people lie, like when it's time to talk, some people pretend. Like I know a lot of ladies who pretend they're like, if I let this guy know that this thing is happening like this guy might go, so let me just agree. When I enter the house, I'll tell him then that it doesn't work for me. But that doesn't make any sense because it's going to be causing you trouble, and at times it could even end your relationship. So it's always good to be really transparent and honest when you're at that stage of discussing, because the important thing is not just getting married. The important thing to me is getting married and staying married, because it doesn't make any sense if you get married today and then tomorrow you're no longer in a relationship because you weren't honest from the beginning. So let's just be honest who we are, what we think about certain issues, and handle them while it's still fresh. Don't get deep into the thing and then you expect to do, I don't know, will I say magic or what? Okay, so I think that before you get married, it's very important to discuss the number of kids you want to have with your partner. You could be with a guy and the guy is like, I want to have 6 kids, but inside your head you'll be like, no, I want to have 2 kids. So it's important that you guys sit down and talk, like, okay, you want 6, I want 2. Should we settle for 3 or should we settle for 4? It's good to discuss those things, because I've seen a lot of people, it causes problems. A lady is like, I'm done having kids, I've had 2 kids, I don't want to have kids anymore. And her husband is like, 2 kids how? No, me, I've always wanted to have six children. How can you be now telling me that you are satisfied with 2 kids? The lady won't compromise, the man won't compromise, family starts getting in, problems, and some even lead to divorce. So I just think that it's really important for you to discuss with your partner, like, okay, I want to have this number of kids, you want to have this number of kids, we have to compromise. Marriage is not a thing that you go and sit and the man is like, we are going to have 20 kids and you have nothing to say, you have those children. Or no, everybody, both parties in the marriage have a say. So it's something that you both have to sit down and discuss, so that you don't get into any confusion. It's that one, you have already talked about it and you've solved it before getting into the marriage, so that one is not a problem. You have already decided, we're having 20 kids, we're having 5 kids, we're having 10 kids, and it's not going to be a problem when you get married. Another important thing that you should also talk about is bank accounts. You should talk about outstanding debts. You should talk about bill sharing. It's very important before you get married. Don't sit and be comfortable and be claiming, oh, love, and then you get married now and you start having problems about that. And especially for debts, a lot of people lie about the debts that they have. I've seen people who get married, their partner is not aware that they have debts, and then tomorrow they go and do like a joint account, and then every month they are getting one huge amount from that account, and then it starts causing problems because the other person is like, I didn't know you were owing this amount of money. What did you even do with the money? I don't even know what you did with the money. How do you expect me to be paying for money? I don't know. There are cases that they have embarrassed spouses, like your spouse is owing us, so you will pay because you are part of, you two are now one. So you want to open up about your debts and tell your partner that I'm owing this, I took a loan for this, I did that. Be open so that your partner is getting into the marriage, he or she is aware that, okay, we're going to be paying this debt, or okay, things are going to be going like this. You handle all your debts that you're owing, while it's just something to discuss, because finances cause a lot of problems when it comes to marriages. So you want to sit down with your partner and discuss that. Also, bank accounts. There's a lot of talk about joint accounts, separate accounts, and all that, but personally I just think that if you must have a joint account, it should not stop you from having your separate accounts. Like, you could have a joint account for a purpose, like, okay, we have a project, we want to build a house, or we want to be paying bills, like paying rent, paying for food and all that. You have a joint account, and then a particular percentage of what you make goes to your personal account, while a huge percentage of what you make goes to the joint account. In that way, you have free, like when you have an issue, like the lady, you could want to give money to your mom who has a problem, you don't have to go now to start asking your husband for permission, like, my mother needs this money to do this and that. It's going to avoid quarrels. So that's what I think when it comes to joint account. If you have another good idea or something better when it comes to bank accounts and couples, you can let me know, because I've seen cases where there's a joint account and nobody has an extra account. When the man goes to take money, the woman quarrels. When the man goes to take money, the woman quarrels. The woman quarrels. So it's preferable that you guys should have your separate accounts and a joint account for a purpose, so that you know that every month, and when you put that money in that joint account, you can now say, okay, this is money for rent, this is money for food, this is money for the bills, this is money for this and that. If you don't necessarily have a joint account, bill sharing, it's always good for you to discuss before you get married. And you're like, okay, let's see how this goes. We are getting married, you both are working, even except in the case where the woman is not working. But even if she's not working, you have to discuss, like, what if you get a job tomorrow? What if you start making money? How are we going to share this thing? Is it going to be like, okay, you're going to pay the bills, you're going to pay the rent, and I'll pay for this and I'll pay for that? Like, just discuss it, quarrel about it before, and settle it there, so that when you're getting into a marriage, everybody knows that, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what he has to do. Even if the part where the lady is not working, where she starts working, she's already aware that you guys have discussed that these are the things that she's going to handle. And maybe if there has to be any change, people discuss it then, and it's not going to cause all the wahala. But if you don't talk about it, you go into the house, you start quarreling left and right. No, I have to do this, no, he has to do this, no, like, it becomes stressful and you are just quarreling for no good reason. Another thing is division of labor in the house. There are some men who just get married and they just assume that, okay, since I'm getting married, oh my god, I have my worldwide worker, she's going to clean, she's going to cook, she's going to wash, she's going to do everything, and I'm just going to be there. And then when you get now into the marriage, some women at the beginning, they're always like comfortable with it, but when they get into the marriage and then they start having children and all the other things that they have to deal with, they get overwhelmed and it starts causing problems, because she's like, you're just getting up every day, you just sit there, you don't do anything, I'm stressed out, I'm constantly fatigued, how do you expect me to live and all that? And it causes a lot of problems, because some men are just like, men don't work, I do all these things, like, I'm the provider, I'm the head does not work, and you have a lot of stress. So if you can discuss, like, sharing your labor before you get married, it's going to really ease things, so that you know that, okay, he does this, I do this. If I don't have the strength to do this, he can help me to do this. If he doesn't have the strength to do that, I can help him. And you even discuss, like, even if there's a nanny, even if a nanny comes tomorrow and she's there to help, what would the nanny be doing? What would the husband be doing? What would the wife be doing? Like, those things are important. Sometimes we just look at it and we're just like, it's not, but it causes real trouble, because a lot of women, they quarrel. If you meet women, like, you meet married women, at least 90% of them are always quarreling, like, my husband just sits, he gets up in the morning, he doesn't do anything, and I do this, do that, do this, and he's just sitting there, and then he'll scold at me that maybe food is not ready on time and all that, when he could help me to ease the work. So you want to talk about that with your partner, so that you can know where his head is at. And if you see that, oh my god, this thing, I'll not be able to deal with it, because it's like you're one of those type of men that will refuse to do any work, and you prefer to leave, you leave then knowing that, okay, I'm leaving because I cannot handle all this work on my own. It's like it's important, because it's a lifetime commitment, guys. It's not something for 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 1 year. It's something for a lifetime. So you have to ensure that you're going to be comfortable with a lot of those things. Another important thing you have to discuss with your partner before you get married is religion. Some people, religion is really important to them. Like, okay, for me, before I got married, I was a Catholic, but my mom was Presbyterian. In my home, my dad is a Catholic and my mom is a Presbyterian. My mother was a pastor's daughter. Yes, she got married in the Catholic church, but she continued going to the Presbyterian church. So you want to discuss some of those things. There are some women who are like staunch Catholic, staunch Presbyterian. Maybe the woman would not want to leave her church. For my case, I was a Catholic, my husband was a Presbyterian, and growing up I'd been going to both churches. So it's just, for me, it's just like, it's church. Like, for me, Catholic, Presbyterian, it didn't really mean anything to me. So when I got married, when I was supposed to get married, I decided that, okay, I don't want to be the way I was when I grew up, because sometimes we go to the Presbyterian church, sometimes we go to the Catholic church, you get up, everybody's going to his or her own church. I didn't really like that. So I was like, okay, I love the Catholic church. Like, I really love the Catholic church because I've been going to both. But I was just like, no, I'll prefer to go to the Presbyterian church, because I'll prefer that our children go to one church. I don't want them to go to different churches. So you guys want to sit and discuss that, because there might be a man who is like, if I get married to you, we are going to the same church. If we don't go to the same church, I cannot be married to you. I want my children to all be this particular faith or this particular. So you have to talk about that. Okay, also there are some people who are liberal when it comes to churches. Like, they don't mind any church that they see they can go to. They really don't care. And they might just be doing church hopping, and then one day one of the Pentecostal churches is what they like, and they decide to stick to it. So if you are a liberal person, you want to tell your partner like, okay, I am this type of person. I don't mind me about the church. I like to go to this church, that church. I don't really care. Is that going to be a bother to you? If it's a bother to your partner, then you don't want to do that. I have a case where this lady gets married to this guy. Yes, she's going to a Pentecostal church, but the man was okay with it. You're going to a Pentecostal church. The man wasn't really that kind of church kind of person. He was a Catholic. So they get married, and the woman goes to the Catholic church with him sometimes, and then she goes to her Pentecostal church sometimes. But you know, some of these Pentecostal churches, after some time, she starts doing pastoral whatever, and she starts doing the pastoral studies and all that, and then she becomes a pastor. And her husband is like, I did not want to marry a pastor. Like, I'm okay for you to go to all those your churches, but it wasn't in my plan. Like, I want to get married to a pastor. So you being a pastor, Papa God, I'm not sure I'll be able to deal with it. And they had so many problems. It caused so many problems. So you want to talk about religion, because religion is really important to some people. There might be somebody who doesn't really care which church you go to, but there are also some people who don't laugh when it comes to church. So you want to talk about that with your partner before you get married. Location is important, because in most relationships today, location, like there are a lot of long distance marriages. When you're getting married, I've talked to a lot of girls whose husbands are abroad, and I'm like, okay, when he comes as he has gotten married to you, what are you going to do? Is it that you're going to join him, or he's coming to join you, or what are you doing? And the girl is just like, I don't know. And I'm like, you don't know how can you not know? I also had this case where a friend of mine, she was dating this guy, and the guy is like, he's going to come here, marry her, and leave her here, and then he'll go back abroad. And my friend is like, what kind of marriage is that? He's like, no, I'll be visiting once a year or twice a year, or you can come and visit me twice a year. That way I don't want us to stay in the same place. It's going to be stressful and all that. And my friend was like, Papa, beg, please go. I'll not be able to be in that kind of marriage. I want to be in a marriage where I can share my home, a home with my partner, get to know my partner better and all that. So that was a deal breaker for them. But to somebody else, the person will be like, that is the perfect marriage. So you want to talk about your location, discuss with your partner before, what are we doing? Are you coming here to live with me after some time, or am I coming to meet you? How is this whole thing going to work? You have to discuss your dreams. It could be your dreams, like your ambition, your passion, with your partner. Like, okay, or you could be talking, and you explain to him whether, okay, we're getting married now, I'm already working my dream job, I'm just aiming to be higher where I am, or I'm just doing this job because I need money right now. Like, I just need money, and doing this job is giving me money, my real passion is this. You want to make your partner to understand, and make them to understand that you intend following that passion, you intend following your dream. Because I've seen situations where a lady is getting married to a man and she doesn't say what her dreams are, her passions are, and then the man is like, you must work in our office. You cannot tell me that your passion is to do wedding decor. That is not a job. You have to work in an office. And then there are also some cases where a woman's passion and dream is to work in an office, let me say in a bank for example, and then the man is like, my wife cannot be working in an office, other men are there looking at her, you have to come and be in the house, and then I'll open you a business. And the woman is like, that's not my dream, that's not my passion. So it's important that you discuss things like that with your partner before you get married to them, because you don't want to get married and then you start quarreling, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. If you're a free spirit and you're like, what, money is money, I don't care, I don't have me a passion, no. If it's to find a job in the office, good. If it's to be in the house, good. Then that one, it's okay. But if you are that person who knows you're passionate about working in an office, or you're passionate about being a stay-home mom, or being a businesswoman, or whatever, you want to talk about that with your partners to see that you and your partner are on the same page, because these are the things that cause problems in marriages. It's true, sex is a very important part in relationships. So you want to talk with your partner and tell your partner, okay, this is what I like about sex, this is what I don't like about sex, this is how I like my sex life to be. So if your husband could be like, oh my god, I want to be having sex 3 times every day, and you're like, okay, we'll try it. But you try it and you're like, papa, I might die, I'll not be able to handle it. Are you supposed to see how you can manage? If you see that it doesn't work, the guy will probably go out because he constantly has to have that amount of sex, and you see that it's not going to work for you. Okay, you let it go. So you have to discuss sex. You have to talk about what you like about having sex, the things you like, what you don't like, the kind of positions and all that. It's really important in a relationship. And then last but not least, what I think, some people always say it's not important, but for me it's important. I think that before you get married, you should talk about your past. Some people are like, no, I'm married to you, the past is the past, gone and forgotten. Yes, it's true for some people, but for me, I think that it's important for you to talk about your past, especially if it's a past where you know it might haunt you in your marriage. It's preferable to talk about it. You could deal with it and move on from it. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If there are more points you have, you know what to do. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.